What is going on? What is going on? Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Move podcast. As always, I am your host, Andrew Daley, joined by my host, Steve Move Scanlon. We are coming at you live on this draft day Thursday with our no huddle version. Coach, I know as an Eagles fan, man, you got to be fired up, hoping that the Howie Roseman's got something up his sleeve, ready to make some moves tonight, or what?
Yeah, man, they've been on a heater. The last 5 years, their drafts have been on fire. So hoping to continue to see that trend.
Well, we'll see if AJ Brown sticks around. He's been hot news in the press as of late. So, talk about him maybe going up to New England, but I guess we'll see as time progresses for sure. Again, this is our no huddle show. We're going to talk about a couple topics. We're going to talk about since it is draft night, we're going to talk a little bit about some South Jersey players hoping to have their names called either this weekend or soon after, maybe as an undrafted free agent or a rookie camp invite, whatever that may be. But we're going to talk about some topics here. Tomorrow, we got our South Jersey Spotlight episode coming up where we're going to talk about the Freedom and Independence divisions. We're going to break down those films of those players to watch more in depth. Always a good, highly receptive video or highly receptive episode with those guys and given kind of our take on their films and the players that we have there. And then again on Monday is our Coach's Corner episode. We're going to be joined by Westchester University assistant football coach, South Jersey legend coach Mike Isgro is going to be on the show. Really excited about that. Really excited to have Coach Isgro on. I worked with him for a couple years. Very insightful, great speaker. Has a lot to say, man, and I can't wait to get that episode going and see what kind of stories he's going to be willing to share with us here on the Daily Move podcast. We talked to Coach Emmel earlier in the week, and we said, hey, it's a high bar that he set last week for the first episode, Coach. So I'm sure that Coach Isgro is going to be able to come in and handle that, though, right?
No doubt, man. Like you said, an Atlantic County legend, college All-American quarterback, played college baseball, was the head coach of his alma mater, now moving up the ranks to D2 Westchester. Great guy, great person. Can't wait to talk to him.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get into it this episode. Again, this no huddle episode, a little bit quick hitting, not as long as our traditional episodes on Tuesday nights. We'll see how long we go, man. We just kind of shoot the breeze here and we talk about some topics. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about player motivation and some different ideas and different things that people do from, across the country. We talk about before we have all these ideas, Coach, and we try and bottle them up and say, hey, we're going to get this on an episode eventually. Well, today is that episode that we're going to get a couple of these ideas out. And the first thing that we want to talk about and make sure that we're explaining this in detail for our folks that are listening and not watching, but we have a motivational, tactic here. You got two players looking at each other face to face with 3-digit numbers on the side of their helmet. Coach, talk to us about what the heck we have going on here and what we're looking at, please.
Yeah, so in this picture with the two players staring at each other, there's a 350 on one helmet, there's a 230 on the other, and this comes from Coach Randy Jackson, Texas, who's written an awesome book, Culture Defeats Scheme, 7 Lessons on Leadership from High School Football. It's a great book.
You wrote a book too, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I tried.
Give your book a little plug here, Coach, for the people who might be first-time listeners.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It's called The Fourth Phase of Football. So we think of the game, right? Offense, defense, special teams are the 3 phases everyone thinks of. I think the 4th phase of football is that intangible phase. The bond of your team, the commitment they have towards one another and towards the program pride, how you involve, validate, and reward your players, whether they play and score 25 touchdowns a game or play 25 plays all season. So that's kind of the focus on that. And a lot of what I've learned has come from places like Coach Jackson. So with this tactic, Coach Jackson puts their squat numbers on one side and then their power clean numbers on the other side of their helmet. So players can kind of show off the hard work that they do in the off season. Coach, I'd like to pick your brain. What do you think of this? And it might be a good idea, but why is this kind of not exactly fit for us, where maybe it does fit for them in Texas?
Yeah, I don't know, Coach. I don't want to go against anything that Coach Jackson's doing here. Wasn't he on American Idol, by the way?
Yeah, different Jackson, I think.
Oh, my bad. Different Jackson. I don't know, man. I think the difference, obviously, the key difference here in New Jersey is the fact that we don't have. First of all, we don't have spring ball,
Right.
right? So there's a whole season lost. Like our guys are, I'm in a Group 1 school. We got 100, I don't know, however many male athletes that we have. They're all playing baseball, or they're all running track, or they're doing something. I literally have 10 kids in the weight room right now for the spring. I don't, it's one thing not being able to practice. Like we'll be able to get out there on June 15th, I believe is the day that the open season begins. But listen, that we're not freaks. We're not freaks in nature. We have a couple strong kids that can, handle their own business in the weight room, but nobody is going out there. If I have an offensive lineman who's a starter for me, and he's squatting 405 pounds, I'm not going to put that on the side of the helmet and then make the other, maybe he's starting at right tackle, and then make my left tackle look at it, who's only squatting 205 pounds. Like it's emasculating, I feel like, and it's almost counterproductive. Like, it's being meant to build somebody up, but it could be like bringing somebody down too. Like, I'm not going to, I don't want to put, like, I don't even like how I got guys who are maxing out at 95 pounds, and that's okay because they've never been in the weight room before. Like, dude, they don't want to put that on their helmet, bro. Like, I get it. I like the idea, but I don't think it's conducive for where I'm at in particular. I don't know if it's something that you would implement in your program or not. But like, listen, if we're talking about like, if I'm wearing a coach's cap or something, and the coaches want to put on how many wings we could take down or something, I'm all for that, because I could probably be, leading that charge, I think, with the wing eating competition. But I think I'm going to pass on the helmet stickers here, man. Would you bring this to your, the program that you're coaching at?
Yeah, I don't think it fits. You know what I mean? I agree with what you're saying. And Coach, I like that you pointed out the kids starting off doing 95 pounds. We want them to feel celebrated and to keep coming back.
Hell yeah, man. I can't. I'm not going to put them on blast and put their stuff out there like that. Like, dude, there's kids who are upset that they're only doing 95 pounds. I'm like, brother, you are a freshman who's never lifted before, and you're 117 pounds soaking wet. You'll get there, okay? Just keep working, and then but you don't think it's something that you would bring into your team anywhere?
Not particularly. We've done things, and I know you've mentioned a little bit before we'll get into, about helmet stickers and big play decals. We've incorporated off-season stuff. So weight room lifting, we did some pound-for-pound formula stuff we've tried in the past. But I always think of it as I want to try to highlight the things that I like or players do well, not necessarily, like you're saying, put people in a position to feel like they're not good enough.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I'm not saying coach is doing that.
No, like I said,
but just, maybe where it's for where we're at.
It's a different beast, I think, down where they're at too. Not for nothing too. Like, I don't have the budget for helmet numbers like that. Like, those helmet stickers are expensive. All right. I think we bought the helmet logo decals, the Pride stickers. It was like an $800 bill or something like that. So I don't have I don't have a budget for these squat numbers, but I digress there. We're moving on. Talk to me a little bit about this one. It says you got a beware of dog sign here, like you would see hanging on a house. What the heck's going on? Explain this to me.
So, Coach, this is pretty cool. So before, if you remember one of our first shows, we talked about what Coach Fran Brown was doing at Syracuse, where he had the area code triple-digit practice jerseys, and players had to earn their number, right? Coach Prime did something similar when he took over Colorado. Nobody had any numbers, right? Mm-hmm. So the way we responded to that, and I know me personally, I said I hated it, but I compared it to what I would have thought as a player. As a player, I would have been furious, and maybe that's what Coach Brown wanted. Well, this college coach I know reached out to me. He's like, dude, I'm listening to your show. I disagree with you. And we started talking, and he was not necessarily, like, he misunderstood what I was saying a little bit, saying like it would have worked for me. But he started telling me what Coach Tremaine Jackson does. So Coach Tremaine Jackson, he was the head coach of Valdosta State. He's now the head coach of Prairie View A&M. I believe they won a conference championship last year in his first season there. He's an alum of the school, played in the NFL. But Coach Jackson starts everybody off on his team at the rank. Think of it like, the Call of Duty games, right? You level up.
Sure.
So everybody comes in at a particular rank, right? You're called a teammate, and you are restricted on how you must wear your uniform, how you must wear your practice pants, where your shirt must be tucked in. There's no individualism. And as you prove that you're committed to the program,
Something funny so I know where to cut it. Okay, good.
all right. So as you prove your commitment to the team, you move up a level, right? And then you start getting accessories. You're allowed to wear a certain visor. And it says your rank, which I think is cool. So if we look at this helmet on the front, they would get a decal sticker right here that says their rank. So you start off as a teammate, you move up to the next level, but then you talk about being a dog. And Coach, how often do we hear that term? This guy's a dog. Player says, I'm a dog. You're going to want him. He's a dog. But for them, they spell it out. It meant discipline, obedience, and grit or toughness. You get a sticker that says dog on the front of your helmet, and then you are allowed arm sleeve. You can wear anything else that you want to do. You're permitted to do once you achieve that rank, and that just built up more buy-in and commitment to the program. And this coach said, like, I've seen it firsthand. It works phenomenal.
Yeah, listen, I don't get into all that stuff like that, but this is something that I could really kind of wrap my mind around a little bit here. It's almost like a ranking system, and you kind of earn the ability to have some freedom. Now, you earn the ability to come out to practice, and your pants are halfway up your legs because you don't feel like covering your knees or something, and I could get on board with something like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of this stuff comes off like, dude, I'll be honest. The thing with Brown earning, giving the guys triple digit jerseys, like I don't like that one bit. I think it's, I almost like exploiting people, but I think I could get behind something like this where it's like a hierarchy ranking. And I think it's pretty cool, man. I'd like to actually, like, I don't know where this coach was that he has this system, but I'd like to go check out a practice and see this hierarchy system actually in place. I think it'll be pretty cool to see how it works for sure. But, that kind of brings me to our next point here, our next topic. Like, what have you done as a coach for motivational tactics or like traditions or anything like that? And I know you got some pictures up here. You got a couple guys from your old school at Clearview. You got a guy here from Wesley. Talk a little bit about some experiences that you've had with, maybe rewarding traditions or motivational tactics.
Yeah. So one of the things that we stole immediately, so I couldn't stand entitlement. So like I the way I would attack it is like the numbers that people typically wanted to wear the most were single digits. So we adopted what Temple did of being single digit tough. And we awarded our single digit jersey numbers. And my first year, I let guys that had numbers age out. But anybody who didn't, if there was an open single digit, you couldn't just pick it. You had to be dedicated in the weight room year round. You had to be a good person in the hallways. You had to do your job in the classroom. And then you could get promoted at any time. So like I'll use this player to the right. So if you can't see in the picture, it's a player from Clearview. So this family, you want to mark that
thing so I know where to cut it at.
So one of the pictures that I have here, we have single-digit players in the background from my time at Clearview. I've had a couple, I think it was 2 players that got awarded single digits as sophomores. They both went on to be all-South Jersey players. Then I have one of these players, Forrest Love. He was the youngest of 3 brothers that played for me. Their cousin, Jack Love, played for me as well. Older brother, Pierce Love, and Jackson Love. Dr. Tom Love, Miss Reenie Love. They were an awesome family.
Whole Love family, dude.
They were the best people ever, right?
Yeah.
So this is the youngest brother, Forrest. He was an incredible everything linebacker. Played some running back for us, but they all were single digits. So Jackson wore number 66. The double digit for the linemen were really important. He wore number 55 on his senior night in honor of his uncle who had passed away. And then Pierce, Jack, and Forrest all wore single digits as well, and they were killers. So it was something pretty cool that people prided themselves on. And then we started building it up to our weight room culture was so strong that we allowed our strength coach to award my last year 2 players on a single digit for based on what they did all off season long. And that was a great tradition as well. And it was just really cool and something that I would like to plan to bring forward as well if I become a head coach ever again. The middle one there, coach, is a former college teammate of mine. His name is Larry Beavers. Played in the NFL a little bit, played in the CFL for a while. He had about a 10-year playing career. But if you look really closely, our school colors were dark, navy blue and white. But there was some sky blue as an accent, and it was in part of our helmet decals, part of our jerseys. And then our trainer, athletic trainer, Chad Craig, he was the man. He was so awesome for the program, but he would spat before games. And he would pick, he never even announced this, but it was something you learned over time. He would wrap spat in sky blue of 1 player per season. And it was always
season or per game?
Season. It was always going into his senior year, it was his turn to wear blue spat, except homecoming. He would sky blue spat anybody who wanted it. And it was really a cool tradition and a way that he helped honor the team. And then that homecoming game, everybody got to celebrate it as well and wear it as well. It was really, really cool. How about you, though, Coach? You like any of those? Awesome. And what did you guys do, whether when you were coaching or playing?
Yeah, so so like I like the single digit tough idea. I just always run into this situation like, okay, if a defensive lineman earns a single digit or something like that, my jerseys are already ordered. I don't have the right size for them or whatever it might be. So I never really implemented the single digit tough, but I do respect that one. And I think that, it would be pretty popular amongst the guys. And I know it is in programs all over South Jersey and colleges as well. The only thing that I've really done, and I probably got to get into it more, and Coach, actually, we talked about it a couple of times. Coach Carp let me know of a tradition that they used to do at Gateway last year, but it was too late to implement it. But I'm going to implement it this year. But the only thing that I've done so far is like the pride stickers on the helmet, and the kids really love them. And we have like a system, a ranking system of how they get them and how they earn them and how many they earn. And there's got to be ways for the JV guys to earn them too, because, it wouldn't be really fair if, only varsity guys could earn them. And then whoever has the most helmet stickers at the end of the year, obviously would get a prize or something like that. But
very cool. Coach, I got a suggestion for you for a way to incorporate that. So we were big play helmet sticker guys at Clearview. So a few things we started doing, especially towards my last season, we would do obviously your player of the game. We would do offensive, defensive player, special teams player, practice player of the week, JV player of the game, and you can do a freshman player of the game, especially if your freshmen suit up for you guys. And then we started doing, if you were all conference or if you were player of the week in one of those rankings, you could give another sticker to a teammate who you felt had a positive impact on you or helped push you to that level of contribution where you helped the team win a game. So that was awesome. Really cool way to entrench leadership and empowerment to your team and showing love to your teammates, and some of them who may not be the guys that always get all the stickers on Friday nights.
Yeah, I ran into the problem too where I'm like, all right, I don't want to be too stingy with the stickers, because the last thing you want is it's the last game of the season and a guy you don't have anybody who has a covered helmet. So yeah, I started getting very loose with my sticker giving out afterwards, and I'm like, you hustled, here. And I always said, if I see you in the hallway and you come up to me and ask me if I have any stickers, like stupid stuff like that. But I might bring it back. We talk about the expense of helmet stickers. Those were pretty expensive, but I think it's something that the kids really enjoyed. So I might bring it back this year for sure. Helmet stickers are like an all-time classic, going back to tradition and stuff like that. So we're going to move on here talking about tradition. It's draft night. The draft is out in Pittsburgh, PA, not too far from us. Kind of, did you go over to the draft when they had it in Philly a few years ago, or no?
I didn't. No, I
Yeah,
actually didn't.
no,
I
me
heard it was
neither.
incredible.
But I hear like the draft atmosphere in general is just really fun time, at least for night one. Like the last couple, the second and third day are probably a drag a little bit, but the first round is pretty cool. So, excuse me. Draft is tonight. We're going to talk about a couple local players that, they're prepping for the draft. They've either declared or, they're hoping to have their name called, whether it's during the draft process or, as you and I both have encountered many times, a lot of guys get signed right away as an undrafted free agent, or they get that rookie invite to camp. So we'll talk a little bit about some local flair here. Again, nice look at the draft stage there. I heard they got a nice setup in Pittsburgh, so it'll be interesting to see that later on tonight. But the first South Jersey draft hopeful is Dennis Jaquez Jr. from Syracuse and St. Augustine High School. Coach, you know anything about Mr. Jaquez Jr.?
Yeah, man. It was a great player at St. Augustine. Grew up actually youth ball teammates with another player that's going to be on this list as well, which I think is an awesome story for those two guys to go through college together and to go through this process together. Participated in Syracuse's pro day, was a great high school player, contributed on the D line for Coach Fran Brown. And obviously we hope all these guys land somewhere as well. So good luck to you, Dennis.
Yeah, good luck. College teammate, this name is probably pretty familiar with most of us, is Deuce Chestnut, Syracuse product at Camden High, 197 career tackles with 6 interceptions and 17 passes deflected. Deuce Chestnut, you hear about him whenever you put on the orange football games for the most part. But talk to us a little bit about Deuce and what he's got going on.
Yeah, man, was a great player in high school. Really fun film to watch. Immediately plays as he goes to Syracuse. Coach, he actually spent another season, talk about the transfer portal, at LSU. And LSU ends up changing their defensive staff. But this says a lot about him because he left Syracuse in the portal, went to LSU, and was thought of in such high regard as a teammate that he was welcomed back to Syracuse. Came back, finished his last 2 years out, was a great player for them. Former teammate at PYAA of Dennis as well. So I think it's pretty cool these guys play together in college and get a chance to go chase their NFL dream together. So good luck to you guys tonight.
I used to love, I don't know if it's like that anymore, but when I was playing midgets, the Pennsauken field, it was just a huge cage. It was a field inside of a huge 20-foot high steel cage, and everybody was – all the fans were on the outside. It was great, man. But our next player here is local product, Kenny Fletcher Jr. from Rutgers, Delran High School. Nice picture there of Kenny Fletcher for the Scarlet Knights. Talk to us a little bit about Mr. Fletcher here, Coach.
Yeah, so he actually has played on both sides of the ball in college. Talk about his athleticism and versatility. He was a wide receiver and defensive end in high school. I remember watching his film and just thinking, like, man, what a special player. I reached out to one of my former players, Nick Oliveira, former All-State lineman, who's now playing offensive line at Rutgers, and was just asking. I said, "Yo, is Kenny draft eligible?" Because you kind of lose track of the years. And he was like, "Yeah, man, he did really well at the pro day. He's such a freak athlete. He is going to end up somewhere. Watch."
Oh, that's awesome. So if he doesn't get drafted, he should land somewhere as an undrafted free agent or something. And listen, you never know what could happen from there. So good luck to Kenny Fletcher out of Delran High School. Moving on here, Zach Palmer Smith, another Delran product, UL Monroe most recently, but he bounced around a little bit. All Sunbelt honorable mention this year, career numbers, 3,000 plus rushing yards, and I believe 20 plus touchdowns. Talk to us about Zach Palmer Smith, and man, he looks the part in that picture for sure.
Coach, he looked like, not quite like that, but he certainly looked the part as a high school running back as well. I remember watching his film, so him and Kenny Fletcher together on the same team, Delran spoiled, right? But I remember watching him, and he was committed to Wagner and just thinking, like, how is this guy going to Wagner? But that was the beginning of the portal. It was the COVID years, and guys like him were falling through the cracks. But a huge testament to him, and is awesome to see that because of the portal and his work ethic and talent, he was able to keep leveling up and find a way for new opportunities. Had a great season this year with UL Monroe, and now has a chance to chase his NFL dream. So good luck to you, Zach.
Yeah, good luck, Zach, and keep working hard. What a stacked team from that Del Rand program, huh?
Yeah.
Last player here is Nasir Hill, Princeton product, St. Augustine too. Am I saying St. Augustine? I'm saying it wrong, whatever it might be. I had a chance to, because I called a couple Princeton games over the past couple years, to see him in person, and really great player, solid player for the Tigers out there. Tell us a little bit about Nasir.
Yeah, so it's funny. I was reaching out, just double checking, and man, I hope we're not missing anybody. I'd reached out to some people. If we are, coaches, players, fans, family, let us know, man, because
we'll make up for it, man. We'll put it out there. We'll put it out there on our social media. We don't want to miss anybody. So
you want to reach out to a former team out. So my former player, team captain for me at Clearview, Ryan Vasali, just finished up his career. He was a safety at Montclair, and he said, yeah, Nasir was one of the starting safeties with each other as they played in Jersey. Nasir going to Princeton, playing pretty early, play Division I football in the Ivy League, and an education for Princeton. I'm going to bet you're probably going to be successful, whether that's in a few years after an NFL career or he gets a chance and moves on to, sooner or later. We know he's going to continue to have success. So best of luck to all these players as they chase their dream tonight through this weekend and until they decide they're done playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, for Nasir in particular, and a lot of these guys, you got that college education, man. You're going to be successful in whatever you do, but that's going to put a bow on this episode of the Daily Move Podcast, No Huddle edition. Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to check in tomorrow morning as we dive into the Freedom and Independence divisions. We're going to break down those players to watch. And then again, join us Monday for our Coach's Corner, where we welcome Coach Mike Isgro to the show. As always, I'm Coach Daley. Coach Move, what do you got for the people?
Have a great weekend, everybody. Find a way to win.
We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining us, everybody.